Room 22 is unlocked. And the second that door creaks open, everything Christopher Smith ever believed in begins to fall apart. See, peace was supposed to be his purpose, his redemption. But what if peace was just the prettiest word for control? What if every mission, every kill, every whispered promise of saving the world was just a lie to make monsters sleep better at night? Because the truth is, Peacemaker isn't walking into a room tonight. He's walking into his own grave. I know that sounds dramatic, but think about it. How many times have we seen heroes cross that line where doing good turns into playing God? You tell yourself it's for the greater good, until you realize greater good just means someone else gets to choose who lives and who dies. And here's the thing. For Peacemaker, that choice was never his to begin with. The trailer starts with that chilling line, Room 22 is unlocked. Simple, quiet, but loaded like a gun. It's the moment he realizes that someone's been rewriting the playbook. Not just for him, but for everyone. And if you've been following since Season 1, you know what that means. Peacemaker isn't just a soldier anymore. He's a weapon. One built out of trauma, guilt, and a lifetime of trying to make his father proud. Even if that meant burning the world to keep it pure. But here's where it gets darker. The people behind Room 22 aren't villains in capes. They're the same kind of people who once told him, peace at any cost. Except now, the cost has a name. Humanity, because buried inside that room is something more dangerous than any alien parasite or butterfly invasion. It's the proof that everything Peacemaker fought for was never for peace, it was for control. Think about it. Resources. New ground for overpopulation. That's not a mission objective. That's a cover-up. A sterilization plan disguised as salvation. And you can feel it in the trailer. The unease, the moral sickness behind every line. When Chris says, maybe because I'm the angel of death, he's not joking. That's a confession. Because the only thing worse than being a killer is realizing you've been killing for the wrong side. It's twisted, poetic, and painfully human. The kind of realization that turns soldiers into ghosts before they're even dead. And that's the brilliance of what James Gunn is doing here. He's stripping away the illusion that Peacemaker ever had a choice. Because deep down, Chris Smith was never free. He was programmed. Programmed to believe that peace was worth any blood spilled, as long as it wasn't his own. But now someone's flipped the script. Someone's rewriting the entire playbook, and for the first time, Peacemaker isn't the one pulling the trigger. And I've got to say, that scares me more than anything. Because when the man who killed his own father for the sake of peace starts questioning what peace really means, that's when the real war begins. This isn't about saving the world anymore. It's about exposing it. Room 22 isn't a destination, it's a message. It's where lies go to die. And the more you look at it, the more it feels like this whole season has been one long setup to a truth Chris was never meant to see. You remember how he said, "Turns out peace was the lie I told myself." That line hits different now. Because this time it's not guilt talking, it's revelation. He's realizing that peace was never the goal. It was the distraction. While everyone's busy fighting each other, the real game is happening behind closed doors. In rooms like 22. Rooms where morality is rewritten and humanity becomes a resource. And you know what? Maybe that's why he doesn't want to see it. Because once you look behind that curtain, you can't go back. You can't unsee the truth. That every system built to save us is just another form of control. And if that doesn't hit hard, let me put it this way. Peacemaker is no longer the weapon. He's the witness. And witnesses don't live long in worlds built on lies. If you've noticed, every season of Peacemaker has been peeling back another layer of his soul. Season 1 gave us guilt. Season 2 gave us consequences. But Episode A, this one's giving us judgment. Because the final episode doesn't ask whether Peacemaker can save the world. It asks whether the world deserves to be saved at all. And that, my friends, is where it gets terrifyingly real. Because this isn't just fiction anymore. This is a reflection of every system, every government, every promise that ever told us, trust the process. But who's writing that process? Who's deciding who's expendable? That's why Room 22 is more than a plot point. It's a symbol. The door we're all scared to open. The truth we keep pretending doesn't exist. And if you're watching this and wondering, why does this feel so personal? It's because Peacemaker's struggle isn't just about him, it's about us. About what we'd do if we realized the peace we were promised was built on bones. That's why this episode matters. Because it's not just another comic book showdown, it's a reckoning. And hey, Before we dive even deeper into the secrets of Room 22, if you've been following every twist and hidden clue like I have, hit that subscribe button right now. Because what's about to unfold next isn't just the end of Peacemaker's story. It's the beginning of something much, much bigger. They told him Room 22 was a resource vault, a place to secure humanity's survival. But when the lights flicker and the air turns still, Peacemaker realizes it's not a vault, it's a tomb. A mausoleum built from lies, data, and the remains of people who once believed in the same idea he did, peace through obedience. He steps inside, and there it is. Files, cables, recordings looping names he knows, names of the fallen, people who were sacrificed for the greater good. But the deeper he goes, the more familiar those names sound. Until one of them stops him cold. Christopher Smith. That's when it hits him. Room 22 isn't about saving the world. It's about rewriting it. Every mission, every war, every body buried under the flag of peace was a test. And Peacemaker wasn't the savior. He was the experiment. You know what's terrifying? The idea that every memory, every choice, might have been scripted. Designed to see how far he'd go before he broke. And if you think that sounds like conspiracy, look closer. The trailer's dialogue literally gives it away. Someone's rewriting the entire playbook. That's not metaphor. That's manipulation. Because Room 22 holds more than files, it holds prototypes. Bodies frozen in containment units, wearing the same emblem, the same helmet, the same haunted eyes. They're not enemies. They're versions of him. Clones. Variants. Echoes from universes where he made different choices. Some older, some scarred, some dead. And in the middle of them, one still breathing. That's where it gets personal. Because when Peacemaker stares into the tank and sees another version of himself still alive, it's not shock that hits him first. It's disgust. This other Chris looks calm, peaceful. As if he finally found the balance the real one never could. And that's when the real question hits like a bullet to the chest. What if peace isn't something you earn, but something you're programmed to believe in? He's been living in a simulation of morality, the illusion that violence could be justified if it wore a uniform. But the architects of this illusion, the people behind Room 22, don't want peace. They want order. And order is the prettiest word for control. Let's pause for a second. Because this isn't just a twist. This is a collapse. A total moral implosion. Remember back in Season 1 when the butterflies claimed to be protecting humanity. When they justified their invasion by saying people couldn't be trusted to govern themselves. This is the mirror of that lie. Different villains. Same story, peace at the expense of truth. And yet there's something poetic about it, right? Because Peacemaker was the one man who swore to kill anyone who threatened peace. But now, peace is the thing trying to kill him. He's the angel of death. But whose death was he really bringing? And this is where we hit the forbidden truth. The part that no one was supposed to see. Project Genesis. That's the name of the file buried in the center of the room. A digital ledger mapping every universe, every Earth, and every variable that could lead to extinction. And guess who the key variable is? Christopher Smith.